Hey everyone, welcome back. Gordon Chesapeake here. So in this video, I'm going to talk about Sanity CMS and how we can integrate that with an Expo React Native application. So I've been using Sanity for my production applications, and I feel like it's a very good fit for React Native projects. So they have a really friendly user interface that I'll show you, and also they have very good free tier that I've been using without needing to pay for any of their paid services. So it's really good if you're building your own projects and or also want to kind of use it for your clients. CMS is content management system, and you all going to need it here and there for different things. If your application is for example text heavy, or it has images that might change, that you don't really want to go to the code and change those things, definitely CMS is something that you would want to use. In case of the application that I have in production, I kind of post daily workouts like a week in advance or something, and then if I had to go and change the code every week, every day for these workouts and like hard code these workouts in the code, definitely wouldn't work. So I have this CMS that I can go there, or anyone else can go there and update the workouts, add new ones, and so the users will be able to see them next time they go on the application. So with that little explanation of why we need the CMS for our application, let's get started with this video. All right, so first thing we're going to do is to go to their website, sanity.io, and we're going to create a new free account. So I already created that account. It's simple. Here you can click on get started, and I use the Google provider to just sign up using my Google account. And once you do that, it's going to walk you through a few questions, like 8 or 9 questions, and then it's going to ask what's your language of, like, programming language. You can select JavaScript and then framework, React. All that is fine. And at some point, it's going to ask for a project name. So make sure to give it a name that is related to the project that you're working on. So I'm going to log in now, and I have used Google. So sign in using my account, and that project name that you will pick is what will appear here. So it has your name, obviously getting from Google, or if you use the email and password, probably will ask for your email as well. But here it is, a project name. Once you go to your account, you will see that. When you are done with the setting up, after you select your project, it's going to give you like a few code snippets to get started with, for example, Next.js or that kind of like other frameworks, or just simply with whatever project that you're working on. You can skip those and just go to your account, and here as you can see, like, your account is your name, and then you will go to your project and the project name that you picked, and here you will see that it's all the information that you have regarding your project that you just created. It already probably also created a data set for you. Normally name is production, so that's there as well. And under this overview, it has this command that you can use to initialize your Sanity project. So just keep this in mind. This is there, but we're just going to use this first piece of it, which is npm create sanity at latest. There are some predefined settings that comes with this command that you see here. For example, it's setting up this project on your machine, just connecting your local development to this data set. Production is a production data set name that we have, and then using template clean. But just so that we can have like a good starting point for anyone, you can just grab this npm create sanity at latest, and then here in our React Native project, so I'm using a piece of code that I have from a previous video that I did. I'll put a link to that in the description below the video, and there will be a link to the final code for this video as well in the description box below the video. But here, basically what we need to do, go in the terminal. We are going to create our Sanity folder right under inside our actual Expo project folder. So in the root directory of our project. You don't have to do this, you can keep it somewhere else, but I just want to have this here set up. So I'm going to do npm create sanity at latest here. Now one thing that I'm going to see is probably different than what you will see, but just bear with me a little bit because I want to make sure that I explain this as well. If I hit enter right here, it is going to show me that I have actually another project called the XVT application that I have in production, but that is not actually what I see in my React Native journey, this account that I have, and that's because I am logged in another Sanity account that I have in my local machine. So if you have another project going on with Sanity, you probably will see something like this here as well. What you can do is just control C out of it, and then we do Sanity login so that we can log into the actual account that we want to use. If I hit enter, it's going to ask me which was your login type. As I mentioned, I used my Google account here, so I'm just going to do Google. And once I select Google, hit enter, it's going to tell me that waiting for browser login to complete. And it already opened that login page for me in the browser. So I can go there, select my Google account, and then it has to hopefully log in successfully. So, and I can see that I can close this tab now and then go back, and now I can see that I have logged in successfully. So going back to the npm command that we had over here, npm create sanity at latest. Let me also make this a little bit larger so you can see better. I'm going to hit enter, and now here it has to show me the correct project that I have, which is the React Native journey. And so I can click enter here, your project name, I can do whatever I want. This is going to be the folder that will be created here. So just so that I know what it is, it's Sanity. I'm just going to do Sanity here. So I will know that the folder, the Sanity folder that will be created here in my root directory is where all my Sanity stuff is. So that's what it is for. So I'm just going to click enter there. And then the next thing is going to ask use default configuration. Yes. Creating data set, so we'll just let it do its work. And project output path, you can see here it's my Sanity, that's correct. And then you can select a template for this, either start a clean project with no predefined schema type, or like these movie, e-commerce, and blog ones, just so that you have some reference. I normally go with the blog one. It does have this schema, so it kind of helps you if you want to create your own basing on what's already there. So I'm going to actually create with a blog schema, even though the purpose of the project is not going to be regarding the blogs, but let's do that. And then do you want to use TypeScript? I say yes here. And then I'm using npm, and that's gonna install all the packages in the Sanity. So as you can see, I gave it the Sanity name, and that's what's being created under my project root directory. So I'm just gonna give it a minute to install everything, and I'll be back. Now, I've been getting this error many times when I'm trying to install, like do npm install. It's some kind of caching that's happening on my laptop with the npm, but you will probably not get this after you go through this step. It's going to download all the packages, and you'll see another node module in this folder. I will go ahead and do the npm install in using my terminal, not the VS Code terminal, the actual terminal app, just so that I skip this thing that they're wanting me to do here. This is just a VS Code thing, so I'll be right back. So I was able to do npm install inside my Sanity folder. So I'm having some problems on my laptop with access to a certain folder, so I had to use the sudo command, and you will see that I will also use that in the future commands that I'm going to use, but you can ignore that. Basically, what we have here inside the Sanity folder is kind of like another project, npm project that you'll see normally with package.json file that I have open here. It has the dependencies that we just installed, and also there are scripts that we need to run specifically for development. We'll use the npm run dev, and that's what I'm going to do. Just keep in mind that you need to cd into the Sanity folder, or whatever you call your folder here. So I'll go in there, and then you would do npm run dev, but like I said, I need to do sudo npm run dev, and then hopefully you won't get any errors, and I'm not getting either. I was getting some access errors, so that's why I'm using sudo. And then once we open this localhost 3333, it's going to ask you to log in. Make sure you log into the same account as we have here in the cloud in our account, same provider as well. So I'm going to do Google, and then it should again ask me my account, and once that's done, hopefully it should take me inside my studio, Sanity Studio, and this is how it looks like. We'll talk more about what everything is in a bit, but here you can see that on the left side we have some content that's already there. Remember, we selected the blog template to have some schemas created by default, and that's how these are the content that we see here, post, author, and category are coming from. If you look into our Sanity folder under the schema types, that's where we are defining all these content types. So I have author here, and then we'll look into this also later on a little bit more detail, but just so you see, we have author, blog content, category, index, and post. And the way things work is that you can use this define field or define type from Sanity package to define your content types, which you can see here in the in each of these content types. You will have to define a type and then give it a name. Author, this name is what you will be using in your code, and then the title author, as you can see, is what's appearing here. We have a type of document that we give to these because these are the documents, and then for the fields, and we have all these different fields. For example, for this author here, we're gonna have a name field, we're gonna have a slug, and then an image and bio, and then with some additional options, and that's what we will see. If I go to author here and click the plus button here, I'm gonna be presented with a list of those fields that we just talked about: name, slug, and then image and bio, as we saw. So for example here, this is kind of like a rich text editor, and then we have a name and a slug and image, and you can basically add any type of fields that you want. I would recommend for you to check out their docs if you're trying to define a type that is not what we will be talking about today, but it's very easy to set up your documents and the fields inside them. So with that, we now are going to make some changes to these document types, and then just rename these, and also remove some of these and add our own fields to there. But one thing I wanted to, before moving to that step, to mention to you is that everything under schema type has to be connected to each other to basically let the application know these are the types that we are using, and that's happening in the index.ts file over here. So you can see that we have all these different types that we have defined here, and we are putting all of them together under this schema types array. So we are telling our application that these are the types that we are going to use. So if we change any folder name here, or if we add anything, we're going to have to come back over here and make sure that we update this file as well, so that it will be reflected when we go back to our studio over here. All right, let's talk about Sanity and a little bit about all these files and folders here. We already saw these document types that came with the blog template that we selected when we were creating this Sanity project. There's another important file here, sanity config.ts file, that we have that's directly under the Sanity folder, and this is where we have our project ID and dataset defined. This also kind of It takes care of how the Sanity Studio looks like. So I have this structure tool and vision tool, and if we go back, we can see like we have this structure and vision. Now this is not a tutorial on Sanity. You can go to their websites and see how you can change these, but another important thing in this file is the project ID, as I mentioned, and data set. So right now, if we go back, we already have a project created with this ID, but this one is different. That's okay, don't worry about it. That would have been our project ID if we had basically copied this whole command here and ran that one. But since we started from scratch, when we deploy this, this is going to be our data set, and we can go back and delete this one. So don't worry about that. Anyway, so in our Sanity Studio here, we currently have 3 documents, and that's coming from the schema types folder here, these files. What I'm going to do, I'm going to actually get rid of most of these. Like I said, index.ts needs to stay there because that's the entry point for these documents, but I can get rid of the category and as well as the post for now. I'm going to get errors because they're being referred inside the index.ts file. So let's get rid of them here, and then I have post and category as well. So I'm going to save it now, and it's going to reload, and hopefully we only see author here, and that's what we have. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to change this to rename this to workout, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a document called workout with different fields where it allows us to add workout of in different days in the CMS side, and then we can read the data from the CMS in our React Native project. So again, let's go back to index.ts file, and before that, in the workout.ts file, we can also get rid of this whole thing, and I'm going to copy and paste a snippet of the code, basically what we are going to have here. Again, similar to what we saw for the author document, we have a defined type here. We have name, title, and the type, which is document. Obviously, name is what we will use in our code, and then workout with the capital W will be shown in our Sanity Studio. I'm going to save this one and then call this also workout, and save this one as well. And pay attention to the fields that I've added here. I have a date here, I have a warm-up, strength, the main workout, and also score type. We'll talk about these in a bit, but what you will see here when you save that, it's this workout, exactly what's coming from this title over here. And then if I click to add a new document, you will see I have my date, which is a type of date as we defined here, and then again the title is what will be displayed on the studio over here. I have warm-up, strength, and the final workout. So if you're familiar with CrossFit, this is how things work. Every day you have a warm-up, then you do a piece for strength, some kind of heavy lifting, and then you'll have a final workout, which is sometimes a mix of cardio and strength. It's just like a normally most of the time a quick 10-20 minute workout where you try to do different things there, including what you exercise during the strength section. And then in the score type here, so this workout can have a score type of time, for example, hey, how long it took you to finish the workout, or sometimes they're called AMRAP, as many rounds as possible. So you will have a result like I did 3 rounds and 15 reps in the 20-minute time cap that we had. So that's also why we have this score type here. But we're going to have to make some changes here. First of all, for our score type over here, we just want to allow the content managers, content creators here, just to add a specific set of a score type. So we're going to have, for example, time, we're going to have sets and reps, and then we're also going to have just a single number, like if the workout is do as many calories on an assault bike in 10 minutes. So that means we're going to have like a number input here, which is, for example, it's going to be I did 100 calories on that. So let's go ahead and define that over here. This is not a Sanity tutorial, I'm just copy pasting things here. So we are in the score type section, the field over here, and I'm going to paste this options over here, which is going to give me a list of different options that are available for this this field that I have. One thing to note is that this is a type of string. So if you go back to the Sanity documentation, by the way, I put links to these websites that I'm showing you as well in the description box below the video. So a string is a schema type for strings and a selectable list of strings, exactly what we want. They have also a text format, which is kind of like a multiple lines of text, and that's what we have for the other 3 fields over here. We have warm-up, strength, and workout, and that's like kind of like free text over here, so you can have multiple lines of text over here. So for the score type, though, since it's going to be a selectable list of strings, we'll have a list with the title and value for each score type, and I'm going to save it. And once this reloads, you'll see here that I have a drop-down menu over here that I can select which score type it is. There are other ways also you can add, I believe maybe it's radio or something. You can change it to the radio button. Again, you can go and check the documentation for this. So right now, by default, it's going to be a drop-down menu over here, which gives you these 3 options. So we have that, that's good. The next thing I want to do is to go ahead and fill out this. So the date, you have this date selector here. Let's say the workout for Monday. And then we have the warm-up here. I'm just going to copy paste a few things here and I'll come back. So what I did was just to fill out these fields I have for warm-up. This is warm-up, and then I have strength over here. Every minute on the minute they're doing hang squat cleans, and then 150 wall balls with like a penalty for every time you break the wall balls. And then as it is kind of clear, the score type is going to be how long it took you to finish this final workout. So a few things that we note here is one is that we have like this date. We can change the format of this date. What is showing here on this side is also something we can change. And again, you can go check out Sanity documentation. I'm just going to show you a quick thing that you can do to make this look a little better. So first thing I'm going to do is actually I'm going to install Date.js, the library that you can use to format the date. So for that, I'm actually going to install that in another terminal over here. So it really doesn't matter at this point where you're going to install it inside your Sanity project or inside your React Native main folder. I'm going to use the day.js in my whole project, so I'm going to actually cd out of the Sanity folder back to top level, and then over here I'm going to do npm install day.js, or you could do npx expo install. Either way should be fine. I'll just do that just so that picks the correct compatible version with the explicit case that we have here. And then that should be done in the main folder package.json file. I should see day.js. Now I'm going to go back to my Sanity folder under my workout.ts file, and for this one I'm going to use what's called a preview, which will control the way this looks like over here. And that's going to be right after this fields over here. So I'm going to do a comma and then do preview over here. So what we're doing, we're selecting the date field, and then I'm going to prepare it, as they call it in Sanity. And with that, you get the date from the selection that it's given to you as the argument for this prepare function. Just to see what's that date is going to be look like on console logging that. And then I'm using day.js to format the whole thing. You could have used any other date library that you want. I just need to also import that here as well. So I have it here, so we don't have any issues here. I'm going to save it. And then back to my Sanity Studio. Now in the preview, which is here, I can see that it's for Monday, June 24, 2024. And that's what I did here. I got the date, which was this field over here. If I change this to 25th, for example, that's going to be what will be shown here. You can check out the logs over here to see what you will see. The date is also what we console log the selection here, which has a date object in there. So that's how you can make this look the way you want. You can also add icons. For example, you could have added a calendar icon or something over here. Again, you can go and check the documentation for Sanity for that. But this should be good right now. I'm okay with this. So what I'm going to do is make sure I publish this. So down here, bottom right corner, you have to click on publish. And then once it's published, that means you will be able to access it in your code. I'm going to create a couple more of these so I have more days, so that when we go to our React Native code, that side, I can fetch more than just 1 day worth of these workouts. All right, before we get to the React Native part, one quick thing. So I've added multiple other documents here for different days. And then one thing to note is that you need to make sure that all these are published. So if there's this little dot here, it means it's not published. And if you hover over that, it shows you. The other thing that I want to mention is that you want to make sure that you take care of the required fields. So that, for example, right now, they can submit like publish a document without anything in there. So make sure you make anything that's required, basically make them required. So, and that's using the validation. So I have the rule for this date field, this syntax over here that you see, validation rule that required. You can also change the format of this date for the using the options property over here. So I've done that as well. So if I create a new one here, new document, you'll see that the date is going to be required. And so there I'm going to go and select, let's say, Saturday the 29th, and then I have warm up, strength, workout, and a score type here as well. Now, we don't want to make all of these required because sometimes, I don't know, for any reason, you might not post any warm-up, or you don't have any strength portion and it's only a long workout, so you can do that here. So maybe do a hero WOD, but these are called named WODs, workouts of the day. Maybe we're doing Murph that day, and this is something, a workout that takes like an hour or so. And the score type is also time. So we'll put it here and then make sure to publish it. The only thing that was required was the date, so we're good there. And now with that, we have all our documents here. The next thing is we want to talk about how we can fetch these data in our front end. Thankfully, Sanity actually has kind of like a playground that you can use to test these fetching the data from your CMS. If you look up here, you also have this tab called Vision. And then again, that is coming from your Sanity config. You have the structure tool, vision tool, and like I said before, you can update this, kind of customize it however you want. But over here, we're going to use what's called the GROQ programming. So if we go to the documents and look for GROQ, probably here you'll see some examples. So they have different examples here, but we're going to use very simple queries over here to fetch data. What I'm going to do is I'm pasting a query that I already have. You start with the star value over here, and then you define the type that you're going to query. Since we only have this workout type, if you had, for example, the blog test that we were doing, you would have author, post, and etc. But right now we only have workout over here, so I'm querying the workout type, and then I want to return all these information in that workout. So every document comes with an ID, and then we have date, warm-up, strength, workout, and score, which are these names that we define for each field. So I have a date, warm-up, strength, workout, and type, and that's what I should probably change the score to type, and that's what we have here. And then I'll go and fetch this, and you will see here that we have 5 items as expected, because that's what we had in the structure. If you look, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are not filtering or anything, so we're fetching everything. You can do filter as well if needed, and they have all these in their documentation. But as I mentioned, we have the date, warm-up, string, workout type. This is score type, number, time, and set reps, which is what we had defined here: time, set reps, and number. And this is how you use GROQ to fetch the data that you need in the front-end side. Now we're going to go to our React Native project and start fetching this data in a screen there. All right, so now we go to the React Native side of things. First thing we need to do is to download and to install the Sanity client library. So what you need to do is do npx expo install Sanity client, create a new terminal here. I think I already did that. Yeah, npx expo install Sanity client. And once you run that, and you're doing this actually inside the React Native folder. So make sure you cd out of the Sanity folder, and then in here in your actual React Native project, you can do the npx expo install, because we are going to use this package in our React Native project over here. So I'm looking at the package.json file in the root directory of the project, and I have the Sanity client installed. So that's what we're going to use to fetch the data. First thing we're going to do is inside my, again, root directory outside the Sanity folder, I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to call this sanity.ts. So this is where I do most of the initial setup for the Sanity, and then I can use what I have here across different screens in my application to fetch the data for what I intend to show to the user. So this is going to be a very actually simple code over here. So just copy and paste in it. We're going to use TypeScript, and this is nothing but what you see here in the documentation in the npm website. So under the TypeScript section over here, I basically copied everything over here and then updated the project ID and data set. So for the project ID, again, make sure you go inside Sanity folder, and that should be inside the sanity config.ts. So that's your project ID, data set as well. It's your production. So I replaced those two here, project ID and data set, with what is actually applicable to my project. So once I do that, I'm exporting the Sanity client with the create client function with using these config properties that I have over here, and then I'm going to save this one. Now everything else is going to be super easy. Fetching is going to be exactly similar to what we did here in the this like vision or playground kind of place in Sanity Studio. So let's say I'm actually going to start my React Native application. So over here, I'm going to do npx expo start. I'm using Expo Go for this. If you have development builds, you can do npx expo start -- client, and I have a video on that as well. I'll put a link, you can check that out. So this is running over here. I'm going to hit the I key so that it opens Expo Go and then the application on this iOS simulator. And this is the state of the app after we did the theming, so nothing so special there. I'm going to go to my app directory over here inside tab. The index.tsx file is this page over here, this screen, my dashboard screen. And in case you don't know what's happening here, I'm using Expo router. I have another video that you can go check that out. This whole setup that you see here, I have a couple of videos that you can go and find in my channel. I'll also put links in the description box below the video. So for this one thing I'm going to change is change this background primary for now, and then I'm using tail with CSS as well, as you can see here. So what I want to do is to fetch my workouts on this screen. Again, I'm just using this dashboard as an example. Based on your project, you can take care of that. Before that, I do have this utilities folder with types.ts. I do want to also define the type for my workout that I'm getting from here. So each workout will have ID, date, warm-up, strength, the workout, and also a type. So all of these actually are going to be strings. So I'm going to define the type over here. You can do interface however you want to do it with TypeScript. It's just we want to make sure that we apply specific types to what we're getting from the Sanity client. So with that, now we have this workout type that we can use inside our application. I'm going to do a quick use effect to get my fetch the data. So what I'm going to do is use effect, and then over here making sure that I have I'm only doing this on the component mount. So use effect, I'm going to import it from React, and it's just a simple fetch. We need to do an asynchronous fetch. So I'm going to basically just copy a piece of code over here. Actually, let's type it. So I'm gonna define a fetch workout function over here, and that's going to be an asynchronous function. So fetch workouts is equal to async, and then I'm going to fetch all the workouts here. And for that, I will be using very similar, well, exactly the same fetch request that the query that I used over here. That's exactly the same. I have the type, which is a workout with all the fields that I want to return. Sanity client, we can import it from sanity.ts that we just created. That's the Sanity client. So we use that to fetch the data. So that data, again, is going to be of type of workout. It's going to be multiple workouts. So it's an array. And then one thing we want to do is sort them based on the date. So what I'm going to do is just a quick helper function here. I'm going to sort the data, making sure this is in the right place. So it needs to be inside this function, obviously, and I'm sorting them. And finally, I'm going to define a state variable and set that value for that. It depends on what you really want to do. Over here, what I want to do is to have a set of dates, and then as I click on each day, I will see the workout for that specific day. So what I'm going to do, to define two states in my screen over here, and I'm going to import user state from React. So workouts is all the data that I fetch over here, and then selected workout will be the workout that I want to show in the screen based on the date which the user selects. So with that, I can do set workouts with the data over here. So I have the data already sorted and the set workouts here, and I can get rid of basically this for now, and then the text, I don't want it. So I'm going to use a flat list to show the dates kind of horizontally up here. So real quick, I'm just going to copy my code and then put it over here. Now, a few things that we need to import flat list from React Native, similarly pressable, and then I'm using also day.js to kind of format the date that I'm getting, so it's going to only show the day of the week. So nothing too special here. It's going to be a horizontal flat list. The data is the workouts that I have, and then what I'm going to render inside the flat list is going to be the days, and also make sure you have the key extractor because you want to have a key for each of these items. If I save it right now, you can see that I have the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That's the formatting that I'm doing. You can do like dates, whatever you want, but basically that's the data that I have in my Sanity client and being fetched. So I have Saturday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. Since I sorted them, they're going to be in the ascending, basically date Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That's what you see here. By the way, I put the fetch log for here for fetch because I want to show you that when we switch to other screens or basically in our navigation, we go everywhere else. This React Native is actually persistent our state over here. So use state is not really called multiple. The use effect here is not called multiple times as you switch between screens, which is nice. You don't want that. That's why I'm like fetching everything also at once. So we have all the data. Again, based on your use case, you might want to filter based on a specific day that's selected up here and only fetch those data kind of like lazily as they click on different dates. You fetch the data for that. And again, this is not a Sanity tutorial, so you can go and check out their documentation to find the GROQ filter syntax, and it shouldn't be so hard. So you can use the selected date for that and then include that in your query, the fetch query that you do here with the template literals. So that's also feasible if you want to do that. Now that I have this flat list with the dates, the next thing I want to do is to show the workout here. So each workout is has warm-up, strength, final workout, and some of these might be actually empty. These are not required fields. So what I can do is actually, again, going to copy and paste some code. It's not really that complicated. I'm going to have a scroll view over here, which again I can get from this time React Native gesture handler. And what I'm doing here is basically checking if I have a warm-up, then I'm going to show the warm-up, and then same for strength and workout, and I can save it and show you. So Tuesday I have this warm-up, strength, and workout. Wednesday, as I switch between the days, you can see I'm displaying the specific workout or different like warm-up strength for that day. If I don't have a strength or warm-up or anything, it's just going to show you what I have for that specific day, and all these are coming from the database that I have in my Sanity, the content that I have there. So nothing super fancy here. On the first load, if I refresh, it's going to be empty. So for the first workout over here, we can set it to the first day's workout, and we can do that in here. So set selected workout will be like data 0 because we have already sorted it as well. So when it's loaded, it's going to show the Tuesday workout, which was this one with the 400 meter run, 10-minute EMOM, and 150 wall ball. So you can see that's already there. And then as we switch between the dates, you can see the workouts, the data that we have received from the Sanity CMS gets updated because of the logic that we have here. So again, the main points here is that we have the Sanity file that we are setting up all the config that we need for fetching data, and then we can use the Sanity client in any of our screens to fetch the data that we need. So the last thing we want to do is deploying the Sanity CMS that we have, the studio we have to the cloud, because if we go back to our account on sanity.io, so you don't see anything deployed over here, and we've been making changes locally here, adding documents, and so we're going to make sure that anyone can go and access our account online, our content team, or whoever you're building this project for, they will be able to go there and then basically see the same studio over there and add documents, make the changes, etc. So for that, I'm going to stop my Sanity development that I have over here. If you go under Sanity folder, I have the package.json file here, and in order to deploy it, we can run the Sanity deploy command over here. So basically npm run and deploy, and that's going to run the deploy command for us. And it's going to ask us to pick a host name, so the value.sanity.studio. So I can do whatever the project name for you is most suitable for this. I'm going to do our journey here, and then maybe a dash if it's allowed, and then enter, and it's going to build the Sanity studio, as you can see, and then deploy everything to the cloud for me. So I'm just going to let this run. And at the end, you'll see that it was successfully deployed to this folder, this URL. You can click on that, or should be able to go and refresh your account on sanity.io, go back to your project over here, and then you can see that I have the Sanity over here, and that's been added. And then I'll go in there, I can see I have this same project ID that I had in my Sanity, the LF3, etc. And then I can open the Sanity Studio from here, and if I make any changes over here, now this is exact link that was given to us over here. I can go over here, and then for Saturday I can change that just to make some changes, 1 hour, and then make sure to publish things. And then once that is done, hopefully if I go to my application and reload, there might be a little bit of caching, so you might need to wait for a little while for this to actually take into effect. So I'll go Saturday again, and you'll see there's a time cap of 1 hour that I just added. By the way, the score type, if you want to let people to add their score, you can use that score type to show either like time or just to inbox like input fields to add their sets and reps, etc. So that's why I had this here. Nothing so special about that over there. Again, maybe something that we need to pay attention to is this project name. As you can see, I had originally created this React Native journey over here, but then when I was creating the Sanity project over here, I actually did the npm install Sanity without defining the rest of this project name, etc., etc. With the template. If you had done that, you would be able to actually create your studio and your project under this original project that you selected. But that's not a big deal, so just keep that in mind anyways. With that, I think this explains everything that I wanted to show you. If you have any questions, make sure to add a comment in the comment box below the video. And I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something. Please make sure to hit the like button. And also, if you haven't done so far, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. That's it. I'll see you guys later.